Hello, welcome to our deep dive into one of the most mysterious and complex subjects in non-universe, the human brain. So today's topic is the science of human brain. Hello, the human brain, weighing only about 1.5 kilograms, is perhaps the most complex structure known in the universe. A soft mass of tissue protected by the hard bones of the skull and cushioned by layer of membranes and cerebrospinal fluid. Yet within the fragile casing reside the seat of our thoughts, memories, emotion, and consciousness. Made up of roughly 86 billion neurons, is forming thousands of connections called synapses, creating an intricate network through which electrical impulses and chemical signals pass at astonishing speed, enabling every sensation you feel, every word you speak, every image you imagine, and every action you take. With the largest part of the brain, the cerebrum, divided into two hemispheres. So, the cerebrum divided into two hemispheres, left and right, is responsible for different functions yet constantly communicating via a thick bundle of nerve fiber called the corpus callosum. While the surface of the cerebrum, called the cerebral cortex, is deeply folded, increasing the surface area for higher order processing such as reasoning, language, and problem solving, and beneath this lies the limbic system, including the amygdala, which process emotions like fear and pleasure, and the hippocampus, which plays a vital role in forming new memories and linking them to emotions, and the thalamus, acting as a relay center for sensory information, all of which connect to the brainstem, the oldest and most primitive part of the brain, controlling vital functions such as breathing, heartbeat, and sleep wake cycle. And at the back of the head lies the cerebellum, smaller but densely packed with neurons coordinating movement, balance, and even some aspect of cognition, while the brain's activity relies on the constant flow of electrical impulses called action potential generated by changes in the electrical charge across neuron membrane and transmitted along axon, ending at synapses where neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine carry the signal across tiny gaps to the next neurons, and these chemical messenger influence mood, motivation, focus, and even our perception of pain, with dopamine linked to reward and reinforcement, serotonin to mood regulation, and acetylcholine to learning and memory. And the brain is not static but remarkably adaptable through a property called neuroplasticity, allowing new connections to form and old ones to weaken or strengthen in response to experience, practice, and injury, meaning that learning a new language, playing a musical instrument, or recovering from a shock all involve physical change in brain wiring, and as the brain processes information, it integrates signal from sensory organ with the occipital lobe interpreting visual data, from the eyes and temporal lobe decoding sound and language from the ears, the parietal lobe handling touch, spatial awareness, and movement coordination, and the frontal lobe taking charge of decision making, planning, and social behavior. All of these working together seamlessly, and memory is stored not in one location but across networks of neurons, with short term memory acting as a temporary workspace and a long-term memory storing knowledge, skill, and life experience, while the hippocampus consolidates these memories during sleep, especially deep and rapid eye movement states, and emotions are intertwined, and cognition with the amygdala reacting to threats in milliseconds. Often, before the conscious mind catches up, and This survival mechanism can trigger the fight or flight response, releasing adrenaline and increasing heart rate, while the hypothalamus regulates hormone hunger, thirst, and body temperature, and the prefrontal cortex evaluates risk and reward, helping us make reasoned choices. Yet our decisions are never entirely rational because the brain evolved the balance logic with emotional drive, and over the lifespan the brain developed rapidly in early childhood, forming millions of new connections each second, pruning unused ones during adolescence and slowly declining certain functions with age. Though cognitive decline can be slowed through mental stimulation, physical activity, and a healthy diet, and damage to the brain can come from trauma, shock, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer and Parkinson, or mental illness such as depression and schizophrenia, all of which are subject of intense research with new technologies like brain imaging, optogenetics, and brain-computer interference, offering glimpses into neural activity and possibilities of treatment, while consciousness itself remains one of the greatest mysteries, with theories ranging from the global workspace theory suggesting it emerges from the integration of information across different brain regions to the integrated brain theory to the integrated information theory, which attempt to quantify the level of awareness, and scientists are also exploring how the brain gives rise to the sense of self, imagination, and creativity, and how it constructs a model of reality that may not always match the external world it serves as well enough to survive. And future brain science may see the merging of neuroscience and artificial intelligence, the decoding of thought into digital signal, and perhaps even the ability to restore lost memories or enhance cognitive abilities, arising ethical questions about identity, privacy, and what it means to be human. But for now, the brain remains both a biological marvel and an unsolved puzzle, one that each of us carries inside our heads, shaping everything we know, everything we feel, and everything we can ever become. So, that is all about today.